Miss, could you please tell me your name?
Good.
Yeah. Your name.
Mohan Kishen Kak.
How old are you?
87, sorry.
Yeah. So then, which place were you born in Kashmir?
I was born in Ranawari Ghat, Jogi Lankar.
Can you describe your lifestyle in Kashmir before you had to leave? What was your lifestyle?
If you want exactly to describe the life in Kashmir before we had to flee from there, it was excellent. It was no comparison with any lives which I have spent elsewhere in India. The people, the majority of them were Muslims, are good, nice, wonderful hosts, wonderful neighbors who could come and see that as a neighbor who was in minority in their localities has not to face any type of difficulty. That was the class of people they were.
I think this is more about you. Let's talk about what was your daily life like? What was a day in a life of Professor Mohan Kishen Kak? Just describe your day.
No, I used to go to college in the morning, attend my classes, deliver my lectures, look after my other curricular activities of the students, and then go to coffee homes and other things and enjoy my discussions there with people.
What was the coffee home like? Could you just describe about?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the discussion in the coffee homes was mostly intellectual. It was regarding politics, it was regarding culture of Kashmir, it was regarding history of Kashmir. No, there were so many diverse things which we used to discuss there on a cup of coffee, which was the cheapest outing in Srinagar, Kashmir.
So you would do that every day?
And normally that was the point of meeting their people.
Okay, that's nice. So did you attend school in Kashmir?
Yes,
Which school?
I joined DAV school initially, and then I went to Anantnag with my parents, and there I joined CMS school. That was the English Communities Open School, Christian Missionary School. One of the best in the valley. Regarding academics, extracurricular activities, and other things which the locals were not exposed to.
So this was in Anantnag?
Yes.
Okay.
This was one of the best.
Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about your memories of Kashmir. So what are some of your fondest memories of Kashmir?
In case I have to sum it up, there cannot be any better memories of any place which I have visited in my life this 86 years than that of Kashmir.
So any memory that you remember of Kashmir which is like really embedded in your mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a place in where I had taken about 86 students to Kolhai on an outing. But unfortunately, while going up the hill to the glacier, I faced a difficulty that I started losing my breath. And it's at that point of time, my one colleague, Mr. Bansilal Bagati, he took command over the 80 students and took them to the glacier, and I stayed back. When I stayed back, at that level, I started still having breathing difficulty. It's at that point of time there is one Bakarwal who brought me to the base camp where he made me see that I am very comfortable and at ease.
Oh, that's such a
Unknown.
lovely.
He was not known to me. And he had to travel nearly about 6 kilometers down, and he had to go back to his
Oh,
hamlet.
wow. Wow. So, okay, we all obviously had a lot of festivals in Kashmir. But what was your favorite festival that you celebrated in Kashmir?
You know, for mostly in Kashmir, there is a vertical division between the people. Either you are a Brahmin or you are a Muslim. There cannot be any other thing. And among the Brahmins, who are all sorts of Brahmins, their main function is Shivratri. That is because they are Shivites, and Shivratri is their main function.
But how is Shivratri different than how you celebrate it now and how you celebrated it in Kashmir?
No, in case of Kashmir, after Shivratri puja was over, next morning there used to be a what we call as salam.
Yeah.
So people would call on us. The Muslims would call on us.
Yeah.
Majority of the Muslims would call on us and send their Mubaraks and bring their some gifts to us on next
Salam,
day of
salam.
the Shivnavri. And our thing was that we will entertain them with the best possible diet which we had cooked. And mostly it was non-veg.
Yeah.
And among the non-veg, it was the fish which was most important, which we served to the Muslim guests.
Okay, so there was this sense of community that existed
Yes.
then, which obviously
And
was-
they enjoyed it to the hilt, as far as, because they never used to cook fish at their places. They would cook it, but not to that extent of a Kashmiri Brahmin. And they would relish that for next Shivratri.
I remember you used to call your friends also for salam, yeah. So, and now that we are on festivals, what is your favorite place? I mean, specific places in Kashmir that hold significant value for you.
Mostly I used to go to Gulmarg,
Okay.
because Gulmarg is a place which is totally isolated, surrounded by mountains, and a small pasture in between. It is one of the beautiful spots in Kashmir Valley. Beautiful, the most beautiful. The green, lushy green. And now certain things have been added to it, but previously this was not. There was a trekking event only that people used to go to trekking to Afarvat and other places. And there is a ziyarah of a Sufi saint that's known as Baba Reshi.
Yeah.
Very place where visitors would flock to the people and the local. It is sacred to the local, and it is a tourist destination too. Small place where the saint is buried. People call on that place.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about leaving Kashmir. So what do you, now that you've talked so much about a feeling of community, what do you miss most about Kashmir?
About my neighbors.
So talk more about it, like what?
Now the question is, I can give you an instance that where we were living with our parents there at Anantnag, which is a distance of nearly about 50 kilometers.
So this is before you shifted to Srinagar. Okay.
54 kilometers from Srinagar. My uncle, who was not married, was living alone at our place in Srinagar. Now he had taken ill and immediately had collapsed, died. Now, that time the communication network and these
Were not there, obviously.
were not there at all. There was one telephone, landline telephone available at the police station, and there was another with a particular person. But we didn't have that facility at the elsewhere where we could communicate what has happened. So people hired a taxi. They came to Anantnag and brought us back to Ranawari. And by then the neighbors had collected and done everything. And majority of them were Muslims. They had done everything. They had contacted our relations. And all the people were there before we reached there. They were there doing all the arrangements connected with the cremation.
So I think what you miss is the sense of community that you had.
This is remarkable. It has never happened elsewhere.
Yeah, that was, I think, quite prevalent in Kashmir. So now
And majority of them were Muslims.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I get that. So how did leaving Kashmir, now let's look at our family. How did leaving Kashmir impact you and your family? How did that impact us?
Bhavna, telling you frankly, we are completely lost while leaving that surrounding. What compelled us was virtually a turbulence there. How did it happen? Neither the authorities were aware of it, nor we were aware of it. We were constructing a house in 89 and 90, and 90 we could not live in that structure hardly for 3 months, and we had to leave in that newly constructed house. So this cannot be repeated anywhere. The type of life we have spent there.
So how did it affect your family? You and your family, let's say.
Exactly, we got scattered. Ours was a joint family of about 20 people.
Yeah.
We got scattered, completely scattered. One unit went to one place, another unit went to some other resting place. We found some place in Delhi, and my children virtually got nothing in return. But they could have definitely got admission in prestigious professional colleges. They could not.
How did how has the perception now, given this new scenario, how has the perception of Kashmir changed since you left?
The rise of fundamentalism did happen after the exodus of Kashmiri Brahmins, because possibly so long the Kashmiri Brahmin was there, he was a unifying factor. Although most of the Kashmiri Brahmins were landlords, rich people, and Muslims were subservient to them. But there was no anger there. There was no animosity there during that period also. Even there have been instances that the nobility, Hindu nobility, was cruel to them in certain instances. Now, of course, the instances are not more, but there have been instances when some Hindu landlords have been cruel to them. But absolutely there was complete rest, complete peace in the valley. Never seen this type of peace anywhere elsewhere outside the valley.
So would, if given do you have a sense of longing to go back to Kashmir?
Yes, definitely. My father had it till his last breath. When should we go back to Ranawari? My mother did not survive that long. And we, at least at this point of time also, I am prepared to go, and I visit Kashmir. I don't bother about the consequences nor about the militancy.
If you were given the opportunity, let's say some government does something, you were given the opportunity to go back, will you?
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
Why? Because I like that place. That's my birthplace.
That's very nice. Any last words?
I'm product of that place. I'm product of that soil. I have lived my years in that surroundings. I love that people. that cultural orientation reminds me of my past.
Okay. That was wonderful. Thank you, Papa, so much for
So
taking
kind
out
of
your
you.
time. Thank